just checked your bank account. Maybe you did not mean to. Maybe your thumb just went there on its own, the way it always does. And for a second, just a second, the number you saw made you feel something. Either relief or dread, or that quiet, hollow feeling that is neither. And here is the strange part. That feeling has almost nothing to do with whether you actually have enough money. It has everything to do with your score, because that is what your brain thinks money is. Not a tool, not a resource, not security. A score. And once you understand that, everything about your financial life, the impulse purchases, the anxiety, the way a raise never feels like enough, suddenly makes complete sense. Let's go back to the beginning. Not your beginning. The beginning of the system that is running inside your head right now. Your brain did not evolve to understand money. Money, in the grand timeline of human existence, is brand new. The earliest coinage systems emerged roughly 3,000 years ago. Paper currency, in its modern form, is only a few hundred years old. The neural architecture your brain uses to process financial decisions is millions of years older than any of that. So what does your brain do? It does what it always does when it encounters something new. It finds the closest existing system and maps the new thing onto it. And the system your brain mapped money onto is one of the oldest reward circuits in the animal kingdom. The same circuit that tracks status. The same circuit that measures how you are doing relative to the other members of your group. The same circuit, as it turns out, that lights up when you level up in a video game. This is not a metaphor. This is neuroscience. Researchers at Stanford, including Brian Knutson, have used brain imaging to show that the anticipation of a financial reward activates the nucleus accumbens, the same region associated with dopamine-driven reward learning, the same region that fires when a gamer earns an achievement, collects a coin, or watches an experience bar fill up. Your brain does not distinguish between virtual points and real dollars at the level of raw reward circuitry. It just sees the number going up. And that is where things get interesting and strange, because video games are designed to exploit this circuit. Game designers spend billions of dollars and thousands of hours engineering experiences that deliver perfectly timed dopamine hits. Small wins, frequent feedback, visible progress bars, unlockable achievements, leaderboards. The entire architecture of modern gaming is built around keeping that reward circuit engaged, activated, and hungry for the next hit. And now, consider your relationship with money. You check your balance compulsively, even when you know the number has not changed. You feel a rush when a paycheck lands and a crash 2 days later when the bills clear. You spend money on things you did not need and cannot explain because the act of transacting, the swipe, the click, the confirmation screen, delivers a small but real neurochemical reward. You are not being irrational. You are playing the game your brain thinks you are playing. The problem is that nobody handed you the rules. Ernest Dichter, the Austrian-American psychologist who pioneered motivational research in consumer behavior in the 1950s, spent years documenting the emotional architecture underneath financial decisions. He found that people almost never spend money for the reasons they think they do. The object being purchased is often incidental. What is really being purchased is a feeling, a sense of progress, a sense of status, a sense of the score going up. Dichter called this the fantasy of the product. You are not buying a car. You are buying the version of yourself that owns that car. You are not buying a house. You are buying the feeling of having reached the level where you own a house. Strip away the rationalization, and what you find underneath is a creature who is, at its core, playing a game and trying to win. The problem is that the game, as most people are playing it, is designed for them to lose. Think about how a badly designed video game works, one where the goals keep moving, one where the rewards are deliberately out of reach. One where every time you accumulate enough points to feel like you are ahead, a new level unlocks that resets your sense of progress. Sound familiar? This is what economists call hedonic adaptation, and it is one of the most powerful and least discussed forces in personal finance. Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell described the core mechanism in their landmark 1971 paper on what they called the hedonic treadmill. The idea is this: your brain does not evaluate your financial situation in absolute terms. It evaluates it relative to your expectations. And your expectations adjust upward to match your reality almost immediately after any improvement. You get a raise. For a few weeks you feel ahead, then your baseline recalibrates. The raise becomes the new normal. You are back to zero on the satisfaction scale, but now you need more just to feel the same. The number went up, but the score never changed. This is not a personal failing. It is the architecture. It is the same system that kept your ancestors alive by never letting them feel fully satisfied, always pushing them to acquire more, to climb higher in the social hierarchy, to never rest long enough to become complacent in a dangerous world. It is an extraordinarily effective survival mechanism. It is a terrible financial strategy. So how do you hack it? This is where the video game metaphor stops being a problem and starts being a solution. Because if your brain is going to treat money like a game anyway, you might as well design a better game. The highest performing investors in the world, the ones studied by researchers like Meir Statman at Santa Clara University in his work on behavioral finance, share a trait that looks almost counterintuitive from the outside. They are not chasing the high score. They are not watching their portfolio every day. They are not triggered by the daily swings the way most retail investors are, because they have deliberately restructured their feedback loops. Instead of measuring success by the number in their account today, they track progress toward specific, concrete milestones. Not net worth. Rate of progress. Not how much they have, but how much closer they are to a defined target. This sounds simple. It is not easy, because it requires you to override the dopamine circuit that wants moment-to-moment feedback and replace it with a slower, more deliberate reward structure. This is exactly how great game design works. The best games are not the ones that give you a constant stream of small rewards. They are the ones that give you a compelling, long-term goal, mark your incremental progress visibly, and make you feel the satisfaction of a well-chosen path rather than just a rising number. Think about the difference between a slot machine and a great RPG. The slot machine gives you faster, more frequent hits. But nobody talks about a slot machine changing their life. The RPG gives you a map. It gives you a character that grows. It gives you a sense that the difficulty you are facing right now is part of a journey towards something that matters. That is the financial framework that actually works. Not obsessive score checking, a map, a character arc, a reason to keep leveling up. James Clear, in his research on habit formation and systems design, makes a point that translates almost perfectly to personal finance. He argues that you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. The goal of becoming wealthy is not what changes behavior. The system that delivers daily feedback on small financial decisions is what changes behavior. The goal is the destination. The system is the game mechanics. So here is what this means for you, practically. The number in your bank account is not your score. It never was. Your score is the gap between where you are and where your system is designed to take you. Your score is the quality of the decisions you made this week, not the balance from last month. Your score is whether the habits are running, not whether the outcome has arrived yet. And this reframe matters enormously because the brain that is wired to treat money like a video game score is also the brain that can be rewired to feel the satisfaction of the right Game mechanics. The brain that gets a rush from checking a balance can learn to get the same rush from logging a good savings decision. The brain that chases the feeling of more can be trained to find that feeling in progress rather than accumulation. You are not broken. You are running software that was written for a different world, but you have access to the source code now. And once you understand that the score your brain has been tracking was never the right score to begin with, you can start building a game worth winning. The next time your thumb goes to that bank account app, you will know exactly what your brain is doing, and you will know something most people never figure out. The number on the screen is not the game. It never was. The game is the one you choose to design.